if you don't fix these 5 habits, this might be the reason why you are not scoring low. You must understand, even if you have a good technique, even if you play, practice, if you have a coach, if you had new clubs, they're not gonna matter if you're gonna be doing the same bad habits over and over and over. In this video, I will show you 5 most common habits that many players do. And you must understand, bad habits are gonna keeping you away from being consistent and having good scores. And let me tell you one thing, as a professional and an amateur who's gone through every single stage, I know what habits are ruining your scores and have even ruined my scores. So, if you're still here, let's begin with the video. The first bad habit is single-handedly probably one of the most important aspects of being consistent at a golf course, and it's called course management. Right? Many amateurs, many golfers have really bad course management. I don't think many golfers even know what course management is. They just go on a course and they just play. They see a flag on the right side of the green, and they just go straight to the flag. They miss the ball right, oh, they make a bogey. While professionals in other case, or somebody who knows and understands course management, would simply go left of the flag, he pushes the ball, and he makes a birdie. And now he's already 2 shots in front of somebody who has a poor course management. Poor course management can effectively change your game from playing 90 to playing 85, 83 and below. And you're probably saying, how can course management effectively change my game so hard? Well, you must understand. How many times you've hit in the water in out of bounds, or you miss the green on the wrong side? Just think of that. You got 18 holes and you miss 6 times on the wrong side. You're effectively gonna make a bogey, which means you're already 6 or 5 shots behind. And here we go. You actually went from 90 to 93. Now you must understand, everything in golf comes with a momentum. So on the first hole, you make a push, you have a bad course management. You make a bogey, and that bogey is gonna translate to 2 more bogeys. And then you're effectively 3 shots behind already, and just goes and on and on and on. You see a water on the right and you go straight and you miss it in the water, and you're already 2 shots behind, and now your mental is going to come in play. You're gonna be frustrated, and everything just goes up and up and up and up until you play 92. And this goes on and on and on. So, let me tell you one thing. I want you to get a coach or somebody who knows how to do course management. Maybe go on YouTube, maybe search for some professional if there's any videos on course management, and actually try to develop a good course management. It's gonna be very hard at start because you're gonna be thinking a lot. You're gonna be thinking a lot, especially if you're in a court that has lots of water, lots of rough, maybe small greens with big slopes. But effectively, that's gonna help you transform your game to be more consistent. And let me tell you one thing. If you actually implement good course management, let's say I go with you and I know your tendencies. So let's say you have a pull and a draw and a hook. You rarely hit the ball right. I as a professional will effectively say, okay, we know your balls go left, which means that every time there's going to be a problem on the left side, we're going to be aiming a little bit more to the right. So for example, we got out of bounds on the left, and on the right we got everything free. Most of golfers would try to hit fairway, and then they will hook the ball and you would be out of bounds. Where effectively, if I was your coach or caddy, if I was somebody mentoring you, I would say, okay, we know the left is out of bounds, we would effectively go right. You go right, you hook the ball, and you're still in play. And that's how you should play. As an amateur, you need to put the ball in play, right? You're not good enough to be aiming straight and hitting it straight and shaping the ball. You just need to put, and you need to have the ball in play. And that's it. And that is probably the most big advantage you're gonna have. If you're gonna have on 18 holes, and you're gonna hit 18 shots, or how many shots you have, and you're not gonna be in the water, and you're not gonna be out of bounds, you're gonna have a very huge advantage on other golfers who are gonna have bad course management. So really, get yourself a coach, go on the golf course and let them teach you how to do a proper course management. And you must understand, even somebody as a pro or as a professional who has not played golf, hard enough or on a professional level, they might not have a really good course management. So you must adapt to your game. And one more thing, when you're doing course management, it's not all straight, it's not all narrow. You must understand your game and the course management has to be aligned. You must understand your tendencies, and when you know your tendencies and you know how you perform under pressure, this is how you will develop course management and effectively put them both together, and then you can have a more consistent scores. Golf isn't just about hitting shots. It's about how you perform when you hit a bad shot. And this topic is going to be lack of mental control. So, mental control is probably one of the hardest things that you can do in golf. When you play in a tournament and you hit a bad shot, how are you going to relieve yourself? How are you going to come back the next shot so you can hit it great? And professionals do this very good, but still not good enough. That's why many professionals cannot go on the highest level. And this is what I have problem as well. When you hit a bad shot, it's not all over. It's not all over. You got 60 more shots to play. You miss a shot, okay. I missed a shot, how can I not do this anymore? So emotions play a huge role in the game of golf. You know how professionals have 1 meter putt and they effectively miss it. And you behind the screen are like, oh, I would hit that, trust me. When you're in that zone and your head is against you, you're absolutely effed. I'm serious. Your head is the reason why you can play a good golf, why you can have a good round, or why you can absolutely be trashed when you come under pressure. Really, emotions get ahead of us, and you must know how to effectively stop that. I'm not saying as an amateur who doesn't play as often as a professional, of course this is going to be a little bit, less intimidated than for professionals, but you must understand, when you don't play golf, for so long, or you don't hit as many shots as a professional do, if you hit a bad shot, don't be discouraged. Man, I mean, it's part of the process. As a professional who hits balls every day, who plays every day, and in fact, if we miss a green, of course we're gonna be angry. Man, I practice so much and I miss a green. But if you're an amateur, you must put yourself like, hey, I'm a beginner, all right? If I miss a shot, I'm not a robot. I miss a shot, okay, good. Let's make a good second shot, right? There's so many amateurs and so many golfers, they miss like a 2 meter putt on the first hole and it's all over. Oh, it's that day again. And then he goes to the next one, he misses one again. And then he goes to the next one, he misses one again. Right? And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And they don't forget these things. You start from the first hole, you make a bad emotion, and it just goes on and on and on. And this effectively, for somebody who doesn't play golf enough, for many amateurs, their expectations on how they're gonna hit the shots are too effing high. Like, too high. They just think they're gonna be like Tiger Woods hitting fucking slices over trees, bunkers, and then hitting some, incredible putt in. But it's gonna be very rarely that you're gonna do that. Even for professionals, it's very rarely to hit that kind of good shot. But you must understand, when you don't practice golf enough, you must control your emotions even more. You must enjoy the game, right? You're not playing for $1 million. You're playing for yourself, with your friends, whatever. You must really learn how to control emotions. Now let's go to a few different tips. Next time you actually get in a situation when you miss a putt, just take 2 steps back and just say, okay, I missed a putt. I got 17 more holes to go. Will I drag this putt over the course of 17 holes? I'm gonna have a shitty day. I'm gonna play 95. Or effectively, I can take 2 steps back, I can breathe, and I can say, okay, I made a mistake, good. Let's forget this. Let's go to the next hole, and let's try to make a putt. And trust me, if you just take 2 steps back, and you put your rage aside, and you say, okay, as I said, alright, it's done, let's go to the next hole. Be happy, forget about it, and go on from there. I know it's gonna be very hard at start, but really just 2 steps back. Think about, okay, my expectations are too high. I missed a putt. happens to everyone, right? You are not a robot, I'm not a robot, and even the best players miss putts. So just think about that. Best players miss, that means I can miss too. But if you miss a lot, that means you have to go back to practice, right? Don't overstress yourself. Don't over emotionalize your game, right? That's why so many coaches and so many mental, coaches tell you, hey, you must play without emotion. And I totally understand that. But, as a human being, we love to use our emotion. And I think it's great when people use their emotion on the golf course. I think it just proved that they really like the game. But sometimes you have to take that emotion and put it into a positive. Okay, I missed a putt. That's all right. I'm gonna hit the next one in, right? So you have to turn that negative mentality into a positive mentality. And I know it's, words are easily done than the actions, but essentially if you just put 5% more in or 10% more, and that's effectively gonna change the rounds that you play. And if you combine that with the first one, which is course management, you're already 2 steps ahead of somebody who doesn't do these things. And these are just the things that we're doing subconsciously. So get rid of the emotions, try to be more stable, enjoy the game. You miss a putt, yeah, fuck, you can rage, don't throw the clubs. I'm not advisor of throwing the clubs. I simply never do that. But you can rage, you can do that stuff, but when you go on the next shot, you have to calm yourself. You have to take 2 deep breaths and then go from there. And I think that's gonna effectively change how you pursue your bad shots. I've always been a player who never threw clubs, right? But I raged a lot. Raged a lot, kind of a lot. I like to speak with my words, like, fuck, I missed the putt, like, whatever. But, as a professional, once I started to become professional, I realized that the shots I do and that I miss, right? I unintentionally miss because maybe my technique is not good enough, maybe I have something wrong, and I effectively miss it, and then I drag that bad shot throughout the whole 18 holes, and it's just dragging my game down. And I realized that is going to be effectively one of the most important things that I have to learn as a professional. You miss a putt, fuck it, I'm not a robot. I have to stick to my plan, right? You have to stick to your plan. So if you have a plan and say, okay, I'm not gonna rage today, stick to it. You have to stick to the plan. You have to be ready for bad shots, right? And that's where I kind of started breathing and thinking positively, maybe distract myself from those things. But it's actually really, really, really hard to do those things. And as a professional, I can tell you this is probably one of the hardest things that I will have to learn eventually if I want to be, and if I want to become top 1 professional, right? It's really in here when we do all of these things. And golf is not all about technique, as we said. It's a lot between the eyes. And if you want to be good at it, if you want to have ahead and be ahead of the game, really learn how to control your emotions, and have the things settled between your eyes, is really gonna help you as an amateur, as a professional, as senior, whatever. It's gonna help you so much. So I think that's about it. Let's go to topic 3. If you're starting your round cold, which means you're not warming up, you are already set for failure. Look, warm up is one of the crucial aspects of sports, of everything that you do. Why you see so many professionals warm up before the rounds? Stretching, mobility, hitting many shots, hitting different shots. It's because we have to get our body to warm up before we actually go to play and to be consistent. If I give you every day, you do the same warm up, your game is effectively gonna be the same almost every time because you warmed up. So you did everything before the round even starts to be prepared. And this is where many people neglect, really neglect warming up. I think it's one of the most crucial aspects. If I don't warm up, then I have 4 holes that I need to warm up. I hit few shots, I feel all stiff, I don't feel my hands, my body, nothing feels good. It's just one of those days where it's gonna be a bad round. But you must understand, if you play golf and if you don't have 20 or 30 minutes to warm up, then I don't know why you're playing golf. Golf, if you go play 9 holes, you're gonna be effectively there for 2 hours. And if you don't have 20 minutes to warm up, to just do 20 minutes of warm up, then yeah, I mean, you're not ready to play good golf. Just simply as that. Every time you go on a golf course, you have to warm up. Like, you have to warm up if you want to play good. If you want to have fun, yeah, go for it. Swing your arms 2 times, left and right, and yeah, I'm warm up. Let's hit the ball, right? But if you want to be good, it's all about getting good in this video, right? If you want to get good, you need to develop a certain warm-up routine for tournament, for practice, that is effectively gonna be almost the same every time. So for me, what I've learned, that I've always warmed up before everything, right? I don't want to have any injuries because I hit the ball very far, which means my body rotates very fast. So if I'm cold, I can easily tear something up, and that's gonna effectively, destroy my whole career. So I really cannot get to that point. But if somebody, who's an amateur, who's even less flexible, who has even less power, you need to just take a little time and warm up, right? You must understand, if you hit 40 shots before the game, you're already at the position where you know how your shots are gonna be. Why practice and pre-shot, pre-round preparation is very important, so you actually understand how your putting is, how your chipping is, what you can avoid, and then you can put all of these things back into the emotions, like we said, lack of mentality, so lack of mental control, and the course management, right? So all comes back to the first and second topic. So when you warm up on the driving range, you effectively warm up your body and your shots, and you see, okay, today goes a little bit more right. So you have to put that back into topic 1, which means course management. And then you put that back into course management and say, okay, on the driving range, I hit everything right. You go on a golf course, and then effectively put this in course management. You say, okay, there's one on the right. I hit shots right, which means I'm gonna be aiming a little bit left. So you effectively changed how you practice and how you warmed up into course management. And now you say, okay, I know my shots are going right. Why would I aim right? I'm gonna aim left and I'm going to be in the perfect spot. Warm up, it's not just about, being consistent, warming up your body, visualization. It prevents injuries as well. So many golfers have problems with their back, with their legs, with their ankles, and wrist as well. There's so much action and so much, force coming to the ball when you hit something. Especially if you're not consistent enough with your shot, you might chunk it a little bit more, which is gonna have a lot of force and a lot more pressure in your hands. And if you don't warm up those bodies, well, effectively, if you're gonna do this for 6 years, you're gonna have an injury, and then you will not be able to play golf. So what I advise you to do is, if you don't have 40 minutes, 50 minutes for preparation, so for me, when I have a professional tournament, I know that's different. I know I'm professional and we're trying to do the best thing, but as a professional, I try to warm up 1 hour before, right? And I have around 40 minutes of actually effectively hitting the balls, and then 20 minutes is more so going left and right, water, brushing, stuff like that, right? But effectively 40 minutes to warm up my body. And I think this might not be ideal. I think I still need to go a little bit more back and see which body part is actually effectively needs to be more warmed up, more stretched, everything. And I understand you don't want to do that, you just want to play golf. But essentially, if you take 20 minutes before the round and you go putt 20 balls, which you can just do 1 meter putts and just go bam, bam, bam. It takes probably 2 minutes. You're already gonna be 30% better because you're gonna feel the club. You're gonna see, okay, it's going great today. Boom. Your confidence is already up. You're warmed up. You go chip 15 balls. It takes literally 2 minutes, 5 minutes, right? So effectively 10 minutes on the short game. You got that done. Then you go on the driving range, and it's not just about hitting the balls. It's about warming up from your head to your toes, because every single muscle in body works in golf. Almost every single, probably every single, I don't know. But essentially, you warm up with some of the, normal exercises, head movements, warming up your arms, stuff like that. But then what most amateurs do is they just hit drivers. They go on the driving range, maybe they do a little bit spinny of the head, and they start hitting drivers. I'm gonna give you one thing. If you want to warm up properly, take 30 balls and just pitch them. Take a sand wedge or take a gap wedge and do 90-90, which means half of the swing and half of the swing. That's effectively gonna help you get the feeling, get the visualization of the swing, because when you do 90-90, it's effectively the same as when you go in the full swing, because it's just the continuation to long irons and upper irons. So if you don't have enough time and you have, let's say 15 minutes to warm up, you're effectively gonna do 50-50. Grab a ball, 50-50, another ball, boom, boom, another ball, boom, boom. This is effectively how you're gonna, warm up your whole body from upper muscles to back muscles. And just doing 50-50 and then hitting 3 balls with irons and 3 balls with drivers is effectively gonna help you warm up your body a little bit more. Sometimes, if you're feeling stiff in your back, getting some stretches in can effectively help you a lot. A lot. Personally, I am very stiff, and when I stretch, my swing just feels on another level. So maybe you're missing that. Maybe you're missing a little bit of stretching, a little bit of warm up to be consistent. So you effectively need to get a routine, how you prepare on putting, on chipping, on long game, and effectively putting that into the game on the course. So really, if you want to be good and you want to be consistent, grab yourself a routine, go play 9 holes and start a routine with 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and trust me, you're gonna see a big difference on every single time frame that you're gonna do the warm-up. If you warm up for 1 hour and a half, trust me, you're gonna play much better. I'm serious. You're gonna play much better. You're gonna feel the club. Everything is gonna be warmed up. If you hit 100 shots before, you might be tired, but you're gonna feel your body. You're gonna feel your swing, and it's gonna be very positive in your game. So really, warm up your body. Prevent injuries is probably one of the most important things, and get yourself a consistent game of golf. Warming up, very important. So let's move on. Sometimes less is more. Stop over analyzing everything you do in golf. Oh man, this goes to amateurs. Man, they be over analyzing everything, right? You see them on the driving range. Oh yeah, I check somebody. He's doing grip like this. He's doing grip like this. Oh, he's going like that. Oh, he's going like that. Oh, he's doing this motion, that and that and that. And I absolutely love it. I understand that so many golfers just love the game of golf, love to overanalyze things, and trying to effectively find something that's gonna be magical for their game. But that's just not gonna happen. When you're gonna overanalyze everything and overanalyze game, golf, putting, chipping, you're effectively gonna be overthinking everything, and it's just gonna be bad for you. Sometimes overanalyzing things is much worse than just being simple and effective. I think nowadays there's so many golfers, so many coaches that just overanalyze everything. They're just going in such advanced things. Oh, you have to go there, 3 degrees up, 3 degrees down. Sometimes you just need the basic stuff. And I actually think most of the golfers, probably 95%, don't have a good base, which means their fundamentals are not on the level, and that's why everything else is going to effectively gonna combine and be very bad, because your base and your fundamentals is not good enough. And that's why overthinking can help you get in the situation where you effectively try to change an error with your basics and try to do an error with your swing in the back, right? And this is just an example. So what I mean by that, as I said in the previous video, or I think it's one video that's gonna be coming up, is when you try to correct error with an error. So let's say my arms are pointed left, and then I try to swing straight. I will have to turn my hands a little bit more, backwards, which means I'm gonna be trying to complete this error with another error in my swing, and now you got 2 errors, and now this is gonna effectively go into 3rd error, 4th error, 5th error. So why this actually is so important when it comes to overanalyzing. So if you overanalyze things, you're just gonna be overthinking 20 different things where you're not improving on one thing. Sometimes you have to take a step back and be like, okay, I have too many informations in my head. And golf is a very complex sport, especially when we go into a long game. We got so many different aspects that we need to watch. We got the feet, we got the arms, we got the wrist combination, bowing the wrist, we got how we go in the bag. So really overanalyzing everything is just probably wasting your time. Next time you go on a golf course, try to be less over analyzer, right? Try to keep it simple. Okay, where do I want to hit? Let's hit it there, right? Just be less analyzing. Be be the guy that goes from over analyzing to less analyzing, and see the difference, how that effectively changes your mindset. Because you're gonna be, okay, why am I complicating too much, right? I just want to hit the ball there. So effective in golf, what we want to do is, if we got a pin there, we have to be close. So you just have to say, okay, how am I gonna get the ball close to the pin? Think less. You have to hit it straight. Boom, right? My feet are turned left. Okay, let's put them straight. So you kind of go in this kind of manner. And look, I understand that we all try to do something, and I personally like to overanalyze and overthink as well. I'm a big overthinker, so I kind of overthink everything 70 different times. But sometimes, for some people that can be overwhelming, and for some people that can actually help. For me, overthinking and sometimes in golf actually helped me to be where I am. But for most golfers who don't practice as much as I do, it's just gonna be overwhelming, because they're not gonna improve, because they're gonna be overanalyzed. They're gonna have so many different stuff in their heads. There's gonna be over and over and over. Now, oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. I need to do that. You have to effectively change your overanalyzing to maybe go to a little bit more narrow stuff, and try to effectively change one thing and go to another thing. I know overanalyzing is not just about technique and improving your game, but sometimes overanalyzing, it's about everything. You overanalyze shots. It goes left. Oh, why did it go left? Just hit the balls, right? Just get the feel. Just stop overanalyzing. It's gonna burden your mind, and you're gonna be constantly overburdened with the news and information that you get from other people, on YouTube, on PGA Tour. And what we humans do, we like to absorb. And when you absorb too many stuff, well, that's effectively not gonna be very good for you. Because if you absorb everything that you get, there's gonna be lots of negative stuff and lots of positive. Now, you don't know what's negative, what's positive, because you overthink everything. You overanalyze everything. So you just try everything, but you don't try the same thing over and over and over until it gets good. You try different, let's say I go to a YouTuber and I see somebody doing like the bowling wrist or something like that, right? And I do this for 2 days, then I see the next YouTuber doing the opposite. And then you go do that, and you do the opposite. And then the third YouTuber is gonna say, okay, no, you actually need to do it like this. And now, oh, where am I? What am I gonna do now? So yeah, really, really keeping it simple actually really, really works. And I understand that we all trying to improve, we all try to be the best, but as somebody who doesn't practice as much, over analyzing is definitely gonna ruin your game. And you need to keep it simple. You need to simplify the things, right? If you go on putting, don't change 20 different grips, right? You must understand, if you don't know how to putt, not a single putter is gonna help you. If you don't know how to hit a driver, don't change 20 different drivers. Learn how to hit a driver and then go from there, right? So many amateurs just change 70 different grips on, let's say, on putter, 70 different grips. Oh, this worked really good. Next week, oh, this doesn't work, I'm gonna change it. And he does this over and over and over. You have to learn how to putt, to effectively change and get that 5 to 10% more on the putter to be more effective on the course, right? So if you're putting, if you're driving, whatever, if you're putting, as I said, learn how to putt. When you get the base down, when you know how to putt, then you can actually effectively go and change different putters and try different things and see what works for you. So really simplify, don't overthink it, and golf is gonna be much easier for you. Look, golfers, golf isn't just about hitting the driver 370 yards, being the longest out of your friends, but it's about short game as well. And many amateurs and many beginners just like to hit their balls straight and get the driver to 300 yards, stuff like that. But effectively, if you want to play a good and a solid golf, you will need to learn how to have a good short game. A good long game complements short game, and a good short game complements long game. Now, what do I mean by that? So let me give you an example. Personally, when I started, I've always practiced a lot of short game. But I realized once I actually know, and once I actually knew how to properly chip, I was much more confident on the long game, because I knew if I miss the green, I'm gonna effectively make it up and down. So I'm gonna, okay, if I miss, I'm gonna make an up and down. So I'm gonna rather just hit it to the flag and make a birdie, right? So you're not stressed when you know something other than long game is good. And in this case, my short game was so good that I knew that when I had a 4-iron, if I miss a green, I'm effectively most likely gonna make an up and down, which puts the pressure off of my long game, which means my long game is effectively going to be better. On top of that, when you practice short game, you make putts, and when you make putts, you get more confident. You get the momentum. You make a birdie, you hit a good shot, you make a birdie, you get the momentum. You start playing good. But it's not all about that. Many golfers neglect short game because it's boring. And I understand, we all want to hit the ball far, we all want to hit the ball straight and long, but we're talking about improving your game, and you really need to take the time to learn how to chip and how to putt, how to chip from different areas, from rough, from semi-rough, to take different clubs into consideration, right? So many golfers just use their sandwich, which means 56 or 60, and they just play every shot. They got a 30-meter chip, they take a 60, and they just try to flop it to the green. Some golfers want to hit all the flop shots, get it as high as possible. I understand it's fun. I really understand it's fun. You're trying to make a hero shot, tiger shot, whatever. But if you want to be effective, you need to learn which shot and what club you have to hit for a chip, right? This is just about chipping right now. Short game, we got putting, chipping, whatever, right? And then we got bunker shots and everything like that. Everything comes into consideration. So if you want to be the good golfer, it's not all about hitting good long shots. It's about performing very good when you miss the green. And you know, when you make a really good shot and you miss a birdie, the momentum and the face is like, oh man, I missed it again. You go on the next hole, you hit a good shot, oh fuck, I missed it again. You go on the next hole and you make a 3-putt and you're like, fuck, I could have made all of this and I would be 4 under. Here you go. Start practicing putting, start practicing chipping. And as I said in the previous topic, don't overanalyze everything. Don't try to change 10 different putters, 10 different chippers, whatever. Stick to one, learn the base, learn the fundamentals, and actually start performing the chips. Now, I'm not saying you have to practice this as me, 2-3 hours, whatever. Take 30 minutes, take a bucket, and just chip 60 balls. That's it when you go on the golf course. You don't straight go to long game. Just take 40 minutes on a putting and chipping, right? Just take 40 minutes. Just chip it a little bit, chip it a little bit. If you don't have good technique for chipping, I got a bowed wrist, which I think you should effectively check it out. It's gonna give you a little bit more knowledge on the guidance method. So many coaches teach bowing your wrist and doing that, but effectively this video is gonna help you understand how to chip and what gives you the most advanced sticks. And on top of that, I have a masterclass for chipping right here, so you should really check that out. It's gonna give you a little bit more understanding on fundamentals and learning how to chip. Now, when you learn how to chip and how to putt, it's not all about hitting the same shot. You need to have fun with it. You need to open the club face, and you need to see how that performs, so you get the feel. And you must understand, long game, it's much less feel than short game. Short game is all about feel. There is, still certain degree to technique, but once you get the technique done, it's all about the feel. It's about how you feel the club, and the more you practice, the more feel you're gonna have. And for somebody who's a beginner, I think chipping is going to be the hardest for you, because you got such a low response with your club. You don't have much of a swing that you don't really know how to control it throughout the swing, because you go small back and then you're used to fucking hitting the ball, and then you go back and you just chunk it or top it. So really, it's gonna give you effectively chipping and putting is gonna effectively give you more feeling through your hands and through your golf, and it's effectively gonna help you develop your long game a little bit better, because you're gonna have a good feel and understanding how the hands, the wrist, and the forearms move in putting and chipping. So focusing your game a little bit more on short game and actually learning how to make a putt. Maybe get your coach, start learning putting, start learning chipping. Don't just go over everything on long game, and just start progressing slow. Get yourself 30 minutes on a putting green, make few putts from 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, and go to like 50 meters, and that's it. You're done. Then go make a few chips, and then effectively you can go and you can start bombing the driver away. But really, if you're gonna get your chipping and your short game good, your long game is effectively going to be much easier, because you're gonna feel more confident on your long game, because when you have a good putting and chipping, then your long game, as I said before, is gonna be less stressed. All right, you will not be in such a stress. Oh, I have to hit it on the green, otherwise I have a bogey. No, if I miss a green, I know how to make it up and down. I know it's easy said and done, but really, don't neglect your short game. Practice putting, practice short putts, learn how to be confident, and learn the feel of how the clubs actually feel, and it's gonna help you tremendously if you want to improve in the game of golf. And same goes vice versa. If you practice a lot of short game and you have a good short game, go practice long game. It's not all about short game, but if you want to be consistent, your long game has to be up there. Same goes vice versa, as I said. So let's go. Breaking these habits could be the difference between you playing 90 or 80. If you implement all of the habits and you actually get rid of 5 habits that I said right now, trust me, your golf game is going to be on another level. If you actually put the time in and practice 1 month with all of the things we said, with all of the bad habits and putting them away, man, your golf game could be on the next level. And as I said before, it's not all about technique. It's not all about having the perfect technique, perfect swing. There's nothing perfect in this world. You just have to hit it straight. And on top of that, subconscious and our mind plays a big role in game of golf. So learning how to get rid of those habits can effectively change your game forever. If you're a golfer who loves to play on the golf course and you don't even practice and you want to improve your game, then I think that might be the reason. So check this video out and get a little bit more knowledge on that. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.